we're going to watch the trailer because I wanted to actually talk about this and be able to kind of just share with you guys my thoughts, opinions about the new official trailer for OOTP 27. It's coming out in March. I believe they have a date on here as well. Yes, March 13th is going to be the release date for OOTP 27. If you haven't seen this, it's a quick little trailer. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. So buckle up, it's gonna go fast, all right? So we're gonna play it through once at full speed, and then we're gonna play it through once at like half speed, because I wanna show you guys a few things.
In baseball, there are two constants: the greatness of the game and of the players. Legends live in Out of the Park Baseball 27. The brand new edition of the renowned baseball strategy game enjoyed by fans around the world is here. The 27th edition of the only MLB licensed PC strategy game is a baseball fan's dream come true. The newest and biggest version of Out of the Park Baseball is packed with loads of features and improvements, including all new advanced stats tracking. Changes the game forever. Play the real World Baseball Classic as it happens. All new in-game experience raises the bar. All new difficulty setting for a brand new challenge. Plus, huge updates to the AI trade model. And an updated interface to make managing your game easier than ever. And compete among thousands of fans online in the popular Perfect Team mode. Over a dozen new licensed legends, all new competitions and rewards. The superstars of today, the legends of yesterday, all in one place. Out of the Park Baseball 27 is here. The Infinite Baseball Sandbox. Available March 13th, 2026.
All right. So that is the trailer. I thought the best part was a commentator
Park
saying that the
Baseball
AI voices was used in the trailer. Yes, I definitely need to see if I can still see that that comment. Someone had made a comment to the. I don't know if it was on if it was on X or if it was here on YouTube. It's at the bottom. Of course, it's at the bottom. Yeah, the poor quality of the AI voiceover forgive me for being skeptical about the updates of the AI trade mode and how it's... Now, I don't know if he's talking about the in-game RTS or if he's calling out Dr. Dynastic for being a bot, which is a crazy statement. Because, look, guys. One of the best parts of this trailer is Dr. Dynastic's voiceover, okay? Which is probably not a great statement to say that that's probably one of the best parts of the trailer, but it really is, okay? That Mr. Dynastic's voice is like butter. Like, come on. I want him to do dubbing of the BYP for Pete's sake. Like, if I could get him to do some BYP intro stuff, I'd hire him. All right, so let's talk about the trailer really fast. So they highlight a few things in regards to the trailer, and let me see if I can kind of just get my thoughts about it again, because I know I wanted to do some little things and some major things. So first of all, let's turn this down so I can actually just go ahead and do this at this point. So it's gonna feel weird audio over the background, but basically we're gonna kind of walk through some of the different things in this game and what my opinions are about it. Okay, so first and foremost, graphics have not changed. There is probably zero updates to any of the graphics in the game, any of the gameplay, the footage of what you're going to be seeing, or anything like that. The animations are probably maybe cleaned up a little bit. Maybe they've done a little bit of stuff, but they don't have time to go out and do a whole new motion capture stuff. That's just not part of their agenda for right now. So it's the same game engine. It's going to be the same, same gameplay, same 3D environments. I didn't see much in the way, and I'll talk about this in a second here too. I didn't see anything in terms of like updates to the ballpark creator kit. I don't think that's being changed. This is the first thing that I want to talk about, though. This is going to be a big one, and I think this is going to be big just for not only for the casual player but for the serious player. This is a new upgraded UI hover over player pop-up display. And it's very different than what I'm used to from previous versions of OOTP. in many, many, many good ways. How did that go away? Hold on. What's it doing? There. Put that back on the screen. Weird. Yes, you can see potential, and not only that, but you can actually see much more details about a player. So this, let me go ahead and go back to here. This is the original design right here, and it has been this way for a long time, okay? You did see potential. So there was potential in terms of what a character would be able to display on their pop-up display, but it was so crammed. It's so hard to read this, especially over text. I mean, you guys probably have a hard time reading it right on your screens right now. The most important thing normally that your eyes go to is the overall, the status, and maybe the statistics. You're really not catching a lot of the details, and it might be because I'm putting it in the largest display resolution possible in the game. I don't know if putting it to 1080p gets rid of that feature, because I think scaling is a big important part of the game as well. In fact, let's test that really fast. If we actually go, because again, I'm playing this at 2560 by 1440. If we do 1080, it's still there. So that is something they've had, just not in this design and not in this style. So let me put that back for a second here. So I think this is going to be a really good one. We're going to be able to go from a pretty condensed version of the projection but from the overview of the players to this, which is you're going to be able to see probably either the overall and potential numbers separated, which is pretty cool, but you're also going to be able to see the contact or contact. I think it depends. Pitchers will probably have stuff, control, movement control, and stamina, I'm assuming. Batters, as we see here on this screen right here, are going to get contact, power, eye, and defense. And it's not only their overall current, but also their overall potential in an actual color bar, which is very cool. I think that's going to be really, really nice to see, basically. And then, of course, there's space. I feel like they're slightly larger. I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but I think it's a slightly larger pop-up display. And they've kind of separated with the age information, the height, and everything else. Because if we go back to our other screen, all of that information is on the top. So what they changed is they moved the age, the bats or throws, the league, which they took out the league, actually. They took out the whole entire shortlist system right now. I don't know if it'll be added back in, but it's cleaned up, which I like. It's cleaned up, it looks better, it looks larger, and I think it's going to be way better in terms of being able to quickly identify how good somebody is, how, what their ratings are. So this will help with just making sure that the ease of access and the quality of life improvement for playing the game is going to be way better. So I like that. I like that a lot. Standings page here, nothing really different on the standings page. I don't really see them updating this for probably a little bit of time. I kind of wish they did, but we'll talk about UI changes down the road. There's more to come about that, okay? So this is the standings page. They show another standings page, different whole entire setup, but basically the same thing. So now we get to see Jackie Robinson instead. So again, of course, you can see all the stuff there for Jackie Robinson. I wish they had showed somebody with potential that wasn't met, if that actually looked different. I'd love to be able to see that, but we'll see about that. This is the biggest one, okay? And I say that with all the love in my heart. This is the biggest change for 27 that I like. Okay? There's not a whole lot that, goes to my heart in regards to this trailer. I don't see a whole lot that I'm going to say is a really good thing that I'm very much looking forward to, but that thrills my heart. We have an updated UI for gameplay. At least a little bit of an update. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a completely different skin that you can just swap between. This was something that I actually had on my wish list for a long time, was an actual, I wanted a gameplay interface that was meant for broadcasting. It's a broadcastable UI. Something that would look good on video. something that would actually be worth having up on Twitch. You know, skins of the great. Yes, I've been a huge proponent of them incorporating broadcast skins. You already have skins for the UI of the game. Make broadcast skins. That's all you have to do. Just design a few different styles. You know, take some inspiration from ESPN, the MLB TV, maybe some of the big, you know, broadcast companies out there, but put something like this. This is what I wanted for a long time, was the idea to be like, hey, I don't need a full, you know, line score. I don't need a line score of, you know, the teams and which inning we're in and every single inning with a 0 or a 1 or above. This is going to be so much cleaner to play and be able to enjoy on stream, because suddenly now it looks like an actual game. Think about it. If these are all widgets, we can move that widget to like the bottom right corner over here, put me next to it, like right here, and then you get just a corner. And you can get rid of the batter, you can get rid of the pitcher, you can get rid of the lineups, you can get rid of the box, you know, the actual like play-by-play stuff, and it would be like literally a TV broadcast. It would look like a TV broadcast.
Oh man, are you?
This is regretfully the biggest change for 27 for me, is just this page. Just this page, okay? Yes, really fast in slow motion. We're going at half the speed, basically, to look at this trailer. But I think this is the biggest change for 27 for me. I think this is going to be the most impactful for what I do with OOTP. Outside of the player hover over pop-up display being bigger and a little bit more cleaner. I think this is the biggest thing for me. So, let's talk about the rest of the trailer, okay? Again, gameplay, pretty much the same. It still has that semi-jankiness to it, which it's lovable OOTP animations, okay? It's the beloved OOTP animations that we've all come to enjoy. It's not changing anything there. Playoff tree, same thing. It's still the same style, same format, same approach. There's really not a whole lot of changes here. We can look at some of the UI interface. I mean, I do appreciate them continuing trying to change the whole entire like continue and check bar button or check mark button in the upper right hand corner. That's not bad. I do mind that. I think that's pretty good. But there really isn't anything new in regards to the UI on most of these pages. So it's really just a couple of individual pages that get the most amount of changes. Good to see driver pennant mode coming back, as well as the trading hard mode and reputation system being an option when you set up your manager. This is a good little upgrade right about here. Again, this is kind of more of like a easier access, so it's a slight UI change, but it's potentially not going to be too much of a difference. Yes, Kaz Cappy. That's kind of what we're gonna. But that's the opinion that I'm starting to get to as well. I really want them to fix where the ball goes in the Sims, because you can recognize an animation or a place where the ball goes, and you already know the result. Exactly. There needs to be more variety, more actual gameplay options. I agree with you, Hollywood. I think they really should look at doubling up the amount of balls in play animations. They should double it. That's basically what they need to do. They need to get a whole new batch of ball in play animations and, you know, trajections and everything like that. So that way it keeps people on their toes. Because, yeah, if I see a ball in play at a certain angle at a certain rate, I kind of already know what's going to happen, which is kind of sad, because I've memorized what each play looks like in OOTP, and that's sad. And we'll talk about that, Kaz, in a little bit here, because that's a resounding sentiment that's becoming harder and harder to pass up on, unfortunately. So they mention additional, like, what was it again? Difficulty sliders and stuff like that. I don't really see a whole lot here in like the player strategies or overall strategies section. They continue to add on more stuff to the global strategies. I think there might be one or two new things here, but it looks mostly the same at this point. I don't think there's a whole lot's been changed there. Nothing too drastically different. We still have, of course, the whole entire super stats replay system in the game. Which is going to get us into the next topic, which is going to be the advanced stats. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. The number one thing that I was really hoping to see for this version of for the next version of the game, and I knew it was not going to happen, it was not likely, was a complete overhaul of the game engine. Okay? And not the game engine in terms of not in terms of like three-dimensional gameplay. I mean like the engine that dictates how the sim is done, how the strategies go into effect, how the ratings go into effect. You know, it took them a bit just to be able to get pitcher BABIP involved. That took a lot of convincing. And before I move into that really quickly, not bad on the leaderboards. I do like the. I think they added these logos to the team at this point. But not a whole lot of changes there either. Still kind of the same. Still like it. Still think it's pretty good. So let's get into the conversation now about the other stuff that's happening. So, advanced stats. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna burst the bubble right off the bat. I am 95% certain these are absolutely cosmetic and they will be pointless for 75% of the OOTP players out there. Okay? I can only see a few situations where having advanced stats is actually going to be useful for the people who are playing. They are great as like reassurance statistics. So the way that I view it is this: in order for them to be able to actually have these ratings, or these not even ratings, the rankings are completely cosmetic too, unfortunately. But the only reason why these advanced stats will actually be useful is if they've been able to renovate and completely add them as part of the game engine. Otherwise, they are completely dependent upon other ratings, such as gap power and home run power for probably barrel rate percentage. Fly ball and ground ball percentage is basically just going to be your ground ball percentage of a pitcher, and that's going to be completely variable per season, but it will probably be around what your ground ball percentage is. That's a rating that's already set. It'll just be a visualization of your ground ball percentage, which is good. Okay, don't get me wrong. That's actually a good one. I have that on my wish list for the game, was a fly ball percentage and a ground ball percentage advanced statistic. We'll get into my wish list in a little bit here, and we'll see how many of these things got added. But the problem is that if these ratings, if these advanced stats do not actually have some kind of a back end, an actual like rating that applies to them, then it does not add anything to the game. They are just going to be ways for you to be able to observe a player and confirm whether or not it was a fluke season that they just had, or if it was maybe a little bit above and beyond, or if it was neutral, if it's what they were expected to do, or if it was a downer season. Okay? That's the only usage of these statistics. Yes, if they still sim plate appearance by plate appearance, the pitcher's RVs are absolutely useless. That is still, as far as I know, I rock this, what the game engine can handle. I don't believe this game engine can handle doing pitch by pitch like simulation. It has to be, this is your matchup, this is the batter and the pitcher's ratings, we roll a die with the ratings all applied, and the result is not a pitch by pitch of the at-bat, it is a result of the at-bat as it stands. That is what I've been told, and that is what it was for a long time. And I imagine that if they were actually able to make the game engine do that, pitch by pitch resulting, and actually like just go with that route instead, that would have been the first thing they would have talked about. Like that would have been like the big headline. They would have rang the church bells talking about how they completely renovated the game engine from the ground up, allowing it to be able to use advanced statistics as an actual inputable data field, and it actually impacts the at-bat by itself. So unfortunately, I think this is literally just the it's not fluff, because you can still use it in certain very rare situations. It'll actually be useful, but in most cases, a lot of these advanced statistics are going to just be results that you could make logical conclusions from by just simply looking at the player's ratings. So hard hit percentage is just going to probably be BABIP plus gap power plus home run power, resulting in a range of number that results your hard hit and hard hit percentage. That's it. There's no actual like hard hit percentage effective rating that's applying to the character to impact their stuff. It's just going to be percentage ranges and number ranges that are going to be based off of the character's actual ratings. So yeah, swing percentage, I don't know how useful that's going to be. I don't think you can use that for any like actual valuable information gathering. Chase percentage, whiff percentage, it's just going to be, yeah, that's just how often they strike out. That's just how often they are not making good contact, which again is probably a combination of avoid K and probably I. So again, it just all comes down to like, okay, so they can create these advanced statistics based off of the ratings we already have. They don't have to add anything to the game to make these. The game engine just needs to know what would be the particular ranges based off of the ratings the players have. And again, that doesn't mean that they're completely useless. If you are playing a league that has low scouting accuracy, this is going to be amazing. Okay? If you've got a low accuracy league that you're playing in where, you know, the chances of being able to know what your character's actual ratings are very hard to nail down, these advanced statistics are actually going to be very good. That is where you're going to love these advanced statistics because you're going to be able to say, okay, I know the character's, you know, avoid K is between 45 and 65, but his advanced statistics on whiff and chase and his strikeout percentages are exploding. So maybe he's more closer to that 45 than the 65. You could use these to help you out more so than just how many times did he strike out. That's a very simplified statistic. With the ability to say chase, whiff, zone percentage, I mean, all these different types of advanced ratings, you could see some advantages there. This would also be very good if you've got advanced statistics helping out with like completely undiscovered characters who are in the draft. So this might be really good for your draft characters. If you need to be able to kind of see like, hey, we think this draft person who we're just now scouting for the first time. So again, it comes back to like low scouting accuracy. But if we have a situation where we don't know for certain how good a person is, the advanced stats will give you like some bumpers basically to help you narrow down how good the player is. But the idea that these are actually like going to be somehow incorporated into the engine, that they're going to influence the engine, absolutely less than, again, I would say less than 10% likely that's the case. Okay? So that's the bummer one. I'd love to say that I have faith that the guys over there, that Matt and his team, that they worked their butts off, and in 1 or maybe a year and a half of development, they were able to completely change the engine to incorporate more stuff. I just don't see them being able to do that. Okay? I just don't see that. So playing base game, playing pitch by pitch mode doesn't change no matter what I do. The only thing, Deucin, that changes in that situation is whether or not you're tweaking with the player strategy of your pitch coach options. So you can have some minute control over the at-bat as a whole, but I've never heard of that being like, yeah, you can have really good control over each and every single pitch and the result of the at-bat. From what I understand, it's more like, hey, do you want to put an extra 5% into they get a walk because you're pitching around them, or 5% more they put the ball in play because you're pitching to contact. The entire at-bat is played that way, and then when you don't select it, it just simply isn't applying that additional focus. It's more like having a quick little boost to a certain rating to try to impact the results in a certain direction. So I don't think it's that way where it's like, okay, I mean, I guess to an extent that is still technically what you're looking to accomplish, so that is still good, but I don't think it'll be as important as the game, you know, has the ability to discern the pitch Maybe outside of maybe like a pitch count when there's 3 balls, maybe it does try a little bit harder to throw a strike. But then again, I've always had situations where like we have a 3-0 count and I say pitch to contact and they still throw a ball. So I don't know. Like there's a certain point where a 3-0 pitch should always be a strike no matter what pitcher is pitching. But then again, that happens way more than often than not that I don't get it to do what I want it to get me to do. So we'll see. That kind of overhaul is a lot of work. Yes. So I would imagine that if they wanted to do that kind of an overhaul, they would probably be more inclined to completely rebuild the engine from the ground up in like Unreal Engine 5. That would probably be the better option for the development team than trying to spend a whole lot of time editing the game engine they've got right now. Not that it's bad, but it's old. It's not, it's not Bethesda old in terms of a game engine that completely crashes every single 15 minutes. But if you're going to completely redo what they've built up from the ground up in their game engine, it's going to be years. It's going to be years. It's a massive undertaking. So I am not surprised that we do not have an announcement of a game engine. Like a rehauled game engine now on a different whole entire thing. That doesn't surprise me. I see stuff like new advanced statistics, and my first thought was that are just completely cosmetic because there's really no reason or no way to be able to actually incorporate those. It's just not possible. It's nice to have, but if their whole entire thing is they're trying to convince people that they're going to have advanced statistics that are, directly impacting the game engine, I don't think that upon pressure of asking that question, they'd be able to say with a certainty that that's what it's doing. I think they're just going to have to end up saying, and I think Matt's already commented about how they're mostly just cosmetic. They're not actually anything beyond what we've seen before. They're just statistics that are generated based off of what your character has for ratings. I think Matt's already basically confirmed that they're just basic cosmetics. So sorry to burst that bubble for everyone, but that is basically what's happening with the update. All right. Let's move on from that. That's the hard one to swallow. That's what I would consider to be the ugly part of the trailer, is just the idea that that's like a big highlight for them. But in reality, I just don't think that it's actually worth mentioning very thoroughly. I think they're going to just breeze over that and say, yes, we did that. We added those and enjoy them. And that's it. They're not going to, I don't think they can really dig deep into like what use or not use, but how impactful is that to your character? Like, does that actually mean something beyond just being a statistic? Are we going to be able to utilize that in any meaningful way beyond assistance in understanding the ratings of the character and what we already know about the character, basically? So we'll see. We'll see what they tell us. I know they're going to have a road to release video, and they'll look into that more. We'll see what they can come up with and what they've done. I will hold my tongue on saying it's a terrible. It's not terrible. It will be bad if they harp that as being like the biggest change to the game, and yet it's not actually impactful in any way, shape, or form. It's just statistics. If they've done something that actually adds some kind of an influence from those ratings, or additional like back-end editor ratings that will apply to those, sign me up. At that point, sign me up, because I will be all in on that, okay? But I will hold my tongue on making a final decision about that until they actually tell us what those do and how they generate those. Because if they generate those based off of just what your players' ratings are, that I already know. Because I know the engine well enough, I know the rating system well enough, I already know how to get all of that information. That information means nothing to me. All right. World Baseball Classic has been added to the game. This is an official license of the World Baseball Classic. This is great if you want World Baseball Classic. I consider this a mod, personally, okay? I think it's cool. I think it's cool they got it licensed. That's great to see. It's cool to have the international leagues, especially the Japanese league after what happened. It's cool that they're actually adding that back in. At least some of the players are licensed back in. But at the same time, this is something that I really do not think is going to be that impactful. I think it'll be a nice bonus thing to the game. Do they have all the international leagues back? Probably not. I rock this. Probably not. I mean, think about it this way. If they were able to get the international leagues all re-signed, would that not be like one of the first things they'd mention in this trailer? That they have regained all of their international leagues? Like, that would be one of the very first things that I would be harping about, and I would make that a huge, huge part of my trailer. That we've been able to reacquire a bunch of international leagues beyond the ones we had in 26. That would be a huge thing. Hence why I'm also of the opinion that if they made engine adjustments and they upgraded their engine, they'd be harping about that. Harping about that. I wonder if the countries will be editable. So, this is where it gets interesting. If this is a licensed with MLB World Baseball Classic, I'm going to assume no. I don't think you can edit the countries. I think you'll have to do that as some kind of a template. Because if I know MLB correctly, they do not like people modding their stuff. Okay? They don't like people touching their stuff. Okay? So, I don't think they're going to want you to touch this World Baseball Classic mode and make your own adjustments. I don't think they're going to. I think what they will still incorporate is a template of the World Baseball Classic, and you can edit that. But I think if you play a World Baseball Classic mode, which I'm assuming this is an actual like game mode where you're playing just World Baseball Classic, just an actual like playoff, I think this is going to be set and non-editable. I think. We'll see about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but knowing MLB, they don't like their stuff being touched. So depends on if this is for the existing OOTP community or external gamers. So this is for the existing OOTP community, because that is what they still need to be able to sell this game towards, is people who want to buy the game again, okay? If they really wanted to get new people and new gamers, they would be updating the 3D graphics, they'd be doing a whole bunch of like bigger, more flashier stuff. This was a very, very templated trailer. It's really more designed towards the people who want to buy the game again. So, again, that goes back to, I think that if they really wanted to talk about, if they were adding the international leagues back, they would have harped about that. So, again, not that this is a bad update. I think it's still really good that they're bringing in something that is licensed with MLB for like a World Baseball Classic. But this is what they're saying is their biggest additions, okay? This is supposed to be their, like, this is how we're going to convince you to buy the game. And World Baseball Classic, advanced statistics that may or may not have much of an impact on the actual result of your character are not selling points for me. That's not a selling point. So that's why I started with the UI from the gameplay, like from the actual 3D environment. That's a selling point for me. That's a selling point for me at this point. So that's good. I have seen a lot of new people playing it. Yes, so there are a lot of people who've been playing 26, because 26 was actually very, very well marketed and very well done. Even though it didn't really give a whole bunch of new stuff, they really hit their stride with 26. It was a well-polished game after they got a bunch of stuff patched out and did a pretty good job. So yes, 26 has definitely been a resurgency for OOTP in terms of a lot of people who have not played it before playing it suddenly. Probably because a lot of people who like to play MLB The Show are kind of tuning out of MLB The Show, and they're finding this as a decent enough solution to their baseball fix. So it happens. All right. Another good thing. New UI for schedule. This is good. Please, OOTP, more of this. Guys, I know you guys by name. More of this, okay? This is what you need to get back to, is making the game look more modern, okay? if we really want to get new players playing the game as well, this is the kind of flashy stuff you throw at them. The nice graphics, the easy to understand and read designs of all this. This is good. More of this. We love this. We want this. We want more of this. Make every single page get this kind of a drastic update where instead of it just being, because look, let's compare. Let's compare and contrast what this looks like compared to previous. Okay, look. This is the old one. This is the old schedule. This is something I've been harping about for a very, very long time. This is the old schedule. This is going to be the new schedule. Voila. Voila. This is way nicer. Much, much better. More of this. More of this. It doesn't scale with the window size with the old one. Yes, the old one in 4K looks like this. This is actually 2K. Sorry, this is 2K. Even at 1080p, it's not exactly the same format size. It's like the game was originally designed for 720, okay? So much better. Much better, guys. This is good. We like this. More of this, please. Thank you. Oh, good grief. This is very nice. We like this. All right, the fog and the whole entire realistic dynamic weather environments, good. It's good. I don't think it's going to be a pivotal selling point. I mean, it's not like as if they're changing a whole bunch of the 3D environments, but that's good. I'll take that, okay? That's not bad. All right, difficulty settings. So, okay. Difficulty settings is all about giving yourself bonuses in terms of coaches and players likely to sign with your team versus AI, or disadvantages depending upon if you're having them be easier or harder to sign for your team, okay? This is completely up to user preference, okay? It's not a bad thing to add to the game. I think it's good. I just don't know if it's actually necessary. I need to kind of figure out what's going to happen. Now, the additional things on top of just the difficulty settings, which is, of course, if you see it there, yearly Major League signings limit. That's interesting. Also, yearly trade limit. That's also interesting. So, basically, these are anti-AZAxle cheat codes. Wait. Am I being targeted? Is this an anti-AZAxle difficulty setting? Is that what this is, basically? I think it is. I don't like it now. No, I'm just kidding. This is good. This is actually a really, really good way of being able to say, hey, we know you guys know how to abuse the game a little bit, so set yourself some limits. You know, instead of doing that yourself manually, have the game do it for you. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Initiating trade, shopping, players, pages. They made one adjustment. So again, we can see here the player page, the pop-up for that looks really nice, looks really clean. I still want to see if we can find a player who has a potential rating that's a bit different than their overall. That'd be nice. Of course, we have to have the Matt Arnold assistant GM moment, because of course there actually is an assistant, or there actually is a GM literally named Matt Arnold. So of course we have to do that. But they supposedly have upgraded. Again, as they always do, they have upgraded their AI trading logic. We'll see how advanced or what they've changed in all of that. It should be good, because they've been really doing a decent job of trying to upgrade their trade logic and making it a little bit harder every single time. There still seems to be kind of a bit of a love and hate relationship for the reputation stuff. Yes, unless they overhaul reputation to not punish you for setting up 2 trades and taking the best one, I won't use it. There's still some situations where there needs to be like ongoing trade discussions and it doesn't affect your reputation. You know, and then, you know, like even like rejecting or not even discussing trade options that are presented to you. That, I think that already has been fixed, but that does not affect your reputation. But there's still some stuff where it's like, okay, I don't play with reputation, period. I don't play with that on. It's not worth it for me. So I don't play with that. I still wish this trading log had better visuals, better UI. This is another page that I like to see them do another team schedule fix to. Make this look better, guys. Make it sortable as well. Please. Please make this sortable. Okay? Sortable and better visualized. That'd be great. All right, this is the other big one. This is the new find a player page. No, sorry, they haven't really done a whole lot here. It's the other page. I'm thinking about something else. This one. So find a player page, still the same. Updated UI for the shop a player. Okay? Yes, or filterable. Sortable or filterable for the trade logs, okay? When I want to figure out when I traded to a team a long time ago and I want to be able to see all of my trades, make it filterable or sortable, guys. Do that, all right? Now, this is cool. Instead of it being sorted automatically by each team, you can now, and I don't know if this is permanent, I think this might be, they are now going to be sorted by the ability of the player. I think you might be able to select any of these categories on this page. Maybe. We'll see about that. But this is good. We like this. We want more of this. Please, Matt, keep doing more of this. This is good. This is going to be so much easier than having to scroll down through all of the teams to find the right person who is the 4 or 5 star caliber player. And now it's actually just going to be right there on the top of your screen. This is good. We like this. We want this. All right, so that's good. Also, the disrespect for Blaze Alexander over there on the left. Okay. All right. Sure. Again, we see a nice little update here for the team calendar or the team schedule. This is good. We like this. We love this. We want more of this. This is good right here, okay? This is very good. All right, and again, we get back to this page as well. Again, the updated UI for the in-game stuff is good. This is a cleaner looking UI. Hopefully it is an optional skin that you can do. Hoping and praying that is the case, but this is good. I like this. I want more of this. All right, continuing on. Yes, Blaze Alexander did get traded. Yes, unfortunately, he did get traded. Very reluctantly, and I don't know why. We traded him from the D-backs. So I don't know what's going on there. All right, moving on. We're almost done with the trailer. We're almost done, guys. And yeah, then we get into perfect team stuff. All right, so. Perfect team has been fun in 26, okay? It has actually been fun. I'm still free to play. I will not put money into this game mode, okay? I won't. First and foremost, I don't have spare money to spend on this. Second of all, I would consider this to kind of be a waste. Cards look good. They look better than last year's. I love the new designs. I think they all look pretty good. I'm definitely going to be interested in seeing just kind of how PT goes for 27. I think it'll be a whole lot of fun again. I think Spore's really getting the hang of it, and he's actually doing a really good job now. Not that he wasn't before, but I really think he's getting into his stride. There is some small things about the player pages. I guess we should talk about this, basically. Yes, PT is, though, impossible to play part-time. That is very much 100% true. I rock this. If you're going to commit to playing PT for a season, you have to commit to playing perfect drafts. You have to commit to playing tournaments. You have to commit to playing pretty much every single day. You have to. Okay, 5, 10, 15 minutes. You got to be in every single day. You just have to, especially upon Thursdays and Fridays when the releases happen and the people are spending all of their points. You have to be involved. You just have to be. So, unfortunately, part-time PT is really just not an option, okay? It's just really not an option. Yeah. No, you have to be cycling tournaments constantly, too. I mean, I haven't, but I'm stuck in high gold, so I'm not trying to compete for perfect league anyways. So I play for fun. I just finished the PT Elite missions. No, I haven't finished them yet. I still have to finish Otani. I've got the last final mission, and I'll complete PT Elites like 2 months late, but I'll finally get that. I've gotten some good cards lately. Maybe I'll show my team, but I'm having fun. But I also understand, yes, I am not at all a full-time PT player. Okay. One of the cool things, I do like the new player pages. These are good. I like these. Okay, this is very, very nice. Very concise, but lots of information. I do appreciate all that this page has. I do want to kind of know if it scales properly, if it looks better in bigger resolutions versus smaller resolutions. However, we'll see how it goes. Yes, the 700 Clubhouse price for Judge was a gate. Yes. I don't have Judge. That is going to be the final thing I have to get. Scouting accuracy separates different ratings. I like that as well. I like that as well, Attica. That's a good one. I love being able to get more and more advanced scouting. This is actually where the advanced statistics might actually be useful, is if you have a scout who is really good on all of these ratings, but has a really terrible rating on, I mean, in this situation, he has a really bad BABIP, as scouting accuracy. You might be able to look at some advanced statistics that get you a better understanding of what their BABIP actually is. That might be the only situation where that's actually really, really good for those advanced statistics. Otherwise, one more thing. One last thing about this page. The percentile rankings for basically the Savant batting RV, base running RV, fielding RV. Somebody enlighten me. Is that anything worth noting at all? Because I'm going to assume the answer is no. Because it's just going to be the statistics of your player compared to the rest of the league for the current season. Correct? So every single year it's going to be a little bit different. There'll probably be a range of where they land, which can give you, again, maybe some insight into the character. So there might be some usefulness for it. But I think it's just for show. I think it's just for show. It's just cosmetic, which, I don't know. Maybe we're at the point where cosmetic is all that's left to do for OOTP. I just don't feel like that's the case. I just don't feel like that's where we're at. I think there's still a whole lot of things you can do for OOTP, and lumping ourselves in with just a whole bunch of cosmetic changes doesn't really seem like a good option. But maybe that's just me. Thinking golden or marula because they are both yellow berries. Ooh, I like that idea, Barry Basher, for your final character. Otherwise, of course, they just wanted to show off all the different types of stadiums. This is a constructed kit ballpark stadium right here. So you guys can see this is all the different elements they've got with the palm trees out in left center field, the center field option, of course, right center field. Of course, I think that's the bullpens in right field, and then the really high one in the left field section. Again, I don't know. Maybe this is a new roof? I think this might be a new roof and a new background. I'd have to look into that, but don't really feel like I don't really feel like as if there's a whole bunch of stuff added to the custom ballpark construction kit, basically. And that is where the tutorial, the trailer ends. That's basically it. It's not at that point, but if you really want to dedicate to a huge overhaul, you have to have a year of updates. So that's going to be my final topic here. I rock this. So let's recap kind of where we stand with this trailer, because I think the trailer is, how would I put it? How do I put this? The trailer is exactly what I expected, unfortunately. It's mostly the same game ported to a new year. It's got some minor updates and some minor things that have been fixed. It has new cosmetics that will make it look a little flashy. It'll be good to bring some new people in, potentially, with those advanced statistics, but I think the problem is that you might be shooting yourself in the foot if, upon further investigation of those advanced statistics, people find that they don't actually have much of an impact. You might lose some people. I've already seen every single commentator that I have seen who talks about the advanced statistics is like, this is either a really big hit or a really big miss. It's either really, really good, they're part of the game, they're impactful, they're influential, or they're just fluff. They're just cosmetic, and there's really no reason to be caring about it. I think the trailer is good enough to hype up the average OOTP fan. It should be pretty good. I think a lot of people are going to like it. I think it's going to be good. I like the UI changes. I think those I would have preferred, this is what I would have preferred, okay? I would have preferred that they had spent an entire development cycle completely redoing the entire interface, modernizing everything. You officially have no more manual. You have just a wiki now. A good opportunity to be able to redo a lot of your menus, a lot of your pages, a lot of your UI. And I would really love to see them devote an entire development cycle to making the game look modern. We're getting a little bit this year, a little bit. The wiki is actually made by Twins. So the wiki is made by Twins 3032, right? Isn't that our... That is his full username, I believe. Twins is the one who has been helping spearhead and create that wiki. So yeah, 34. Thank you, Attica. And he's doing a good job. I will give him that much. He's doing a good job on it. But with the idea that you don't have a manual that has to be, you know, up to date with all the pages, this would be an excellent opportunity to completely redo the entire UI interface. And it would be fantastic if you could modernize the game and make it look at least 2020. Okay? It still looks and feels like it's 2004, 2005. Okay? The new schedule page, that looks like 2020. The new 3D gameplay, really cool little line score. Basically, it's a widget, basically. That looks good. That looks like 2020, 2025 almost, okay? The pop-up for the players, that's modern. That looks better. That looks good. That looks like it's 2020. Most of the rest of the game still looks like 2005. So it needs to be updated, okay? How else am I supposed to show someone this is the spreadsheet simulator? I'm pretty sure everybody who believes you're playing a PC baseball game immediately believes it's a baseball spreadsheet simulator. Okay?